And this is viral because people are like, what language is this? And how sad is this? I kind of understand it.
Yeah, me too.
Clavicular was mid-gesture gooning when a group of foids came and spiked his cortisol levels. Cry emoji. Is ignoring the foids while munting and mogging moids more useful than SMV chad fishing in the club?
It's the spiked cortisol levels for me.
Yeah. Hi, Sincerely Sisters, and welcome back to Sincerely American. As you girls can see, Cam and I are here in LA. This is just a really quick trip in and out, but I'm excited that we're recording together.
Me too. I feel like every time we're in person, it's just 10 times better and more organic. It's hard, like, talking to a screen. I missed you in person.
I know, but sometimes I do actually feel like the podcast, like, in some ways is, like, really good, too, when we're, like, separate because we can, like, dial in a little bit more. Sometimes we go off on a little more tangents when we're
Sometimes
together.
I don't want to always lock in, though.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
I
good
know.
to have, like, conversations like this.
You need to come back out to DC.
I
soon.
know, I do. When
Our
it's
red curtains are, we always joke, like, someone was like, it looks like a brothel.
Yeah, it looks like the red light district in Amsterdam.
I'm also
That's
sick,
so
so I'm
bad.
sorry that my voice is like this. I don't know why I'm always sick. That's part of having kids. Like, just like literally you're just constantly like dealing with some illness. But we will get through it today.
Have you seen that? The girl walking down the runway and it's like your child bringing home a new virus and like the things are sticking out with her like walking down the runway.
Literally.
I sent it to you the other day.
Literally, that is me. I'm like always sick during the winter. It's
Yeah.
like nice out here in California, sunny. I feel like when I was living in California, I didn't get sick as much during like the
Yeah.
winter. I just feel like in the cold, you get sick way easier.
Because of the changing seasons and like allergies and stuff can trigger that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to be in the sun for a quick second, but I'll be headed back to DC very shortly, and I'll be back in DC for next week's episode. We're also very like comfy and cozy today because I'm not even going to get into the details. It's so boring, but I actually didn't think we were going to film together. Like this was like last minute that we were going to do this. So anyway, we're doing the comfy, cozy California vibe today.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it too. Okay, let's jump into our first topic. And I feel like I'm going to like preface this by saying like I do feel like we've kind of beaten a dead horse on this topic. But when I saw this, I'm like, we have to cover it, which is Reformation introduced a divorce collection, you guys. So we'll put this up on the screen. I literally can't talk because I'm sick. We'll put this up on the screen for you guys. So with a collection made for women who don't settle in court or when it comes to clothes, featuring sexy, empowering things and a limited edition Dump Him sweatshirt. And this reminds me of what we talked about during
Target.
Yeah, Target during Valentine's Day. I think it was the same thing, Dump Him. And it's just like, what is like this obsession now in like the women's culture, fashion, entertainment with like divorce, not like hating men? Like, I'm just so over this. Like, I want to be clear, you know, I'm not like saying, obviously there's situations that are very bad for women where they have to get out of a terrible marriage, maybe it's abusive or whatever situation. And of course, like I do believe in the ability for that woman to get out of that and to be able to live a better life. However, I think divorce is always a terrible thing. Regardless of the situation, it's a tragedy. And so it shouldn't be something that's like just celebrated like this.
I do think that there's a good balance, right? Like if somebody's getting out of an abusive relationship, maybe like people over glamorize it nowadays where they're holding like hosting like divorce parties and like coming into this culture with fashion with like the Dump Him, and we saw them like normalizing just hating men all the time. Like it is like their number one personality trait. They make it their entire personality. It's just a very toxic culture. I agree that like you should move on with your life, and like if that wasn't the best relationship for either of you guys, you were incompatible, there's no reason to just like over romanticize it either. It's kind of like disrespectful to that other person too, and in turn it's just like I think you can just move in silence sometimes. Like I don't think you have to be putting all of this out there for everyone to see all the time.
No, and it's like a lot of marriages obviously have kids. I think most marriages have kids involved. And so obviously when there's kids involved, like a divorce is a tragedy. And so I just hate like celebrating it. And I kind of feel like this was like a backlash to like Reformation had a lot of clothing that like was a very trad wifey. And I saw some
like the milkmaid dresses.
Yeah.
And they even have a wedding shop too.
Yeah.
Where it's like in case you have a wedding, like a courthouse wedding, they have like those two pieces and stuff.
Yeah, and they had Nara Smith, obviously.
Oh yeah, I love that
They did a
collab.
whole collection with her. So this one is with with a divorce attorney and they're trying to like girl boss. And by the way, I was looking at the clothes. We were like praising Reformation last episode, and I was looking at the clothes. I'm like, this is hideous.
Maybe they're trying to do this as like a balance because they did have Nara Smith. So they were like, oh, okay, we've got the trad girls. Like now we need the more like liberated feminists. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I almost view divorce like a woman who has breast cancer and has to get a double mastectomy. Like it's necessary for some like if this situation is so bad in a marriage that you have to be in the situation to get a divorce, or if your cancer is so bad you have to get a double mastectomy, sometimes it is a necessary option, but it's something to celebrate. Like it's
Mhm.
sad at the end of the day that you had to do these measures. And
Well,
so
and I feel like so many women nowadays, they'll treat their boyfriend like their husband and then they'll just like throw their husband out like trash. Like, and that's what divorce rates are so high. I mean, it's over 50%
mhm.
nowadays. And like women will stay in these, you know, 5, 6, 7 year boyfriend girlfriend relationships and be living with them and playing house. And yet, like they'll treat it like that's their marriage and like
Yeah.
they're under a covenant when they're not, like, and they're treating their boyfriend like their husband. And then once they get a husband, it's like they treat divorce like it's such a normal thing, and that like you shouldn't, I think to a degree it shouldn't be so normalized. Like I understand with like if it's an abusive relationship, like you said, those outliers, but it's not something that we should prop up and celebrate, in my opinion.
Well,
Like
as
it's
Catholics, it's really against the church to get a divorce. There's like very limited circumstances where they grant divorces, and that's how it should be. It should be very rare situation where it results in this manner, untenable situation. But it's nothing to celebrate, and I'm so sick of all the celebration. And I guess like here's another brand where I'm like, okay,
there,
I
and
guess I can't support this brand
but I
anymore.
also see comments too where they're like, "Getting divorced is so chic." Like, if
Yeah, I've
you're
seen that.
have you seen those where it's like, "If you're 27 and divorced, that's chic." And
Yeah,
I'm like,
the
"What are
getting no,
you?"
it's getting divorced before you're 30 is
Yeah.
chic. I'm
I'm
like,
like, what is this? Like, why are we celebrating that?" It's
yeah, it's what we talk about all the time. They just like the left, they hate the family. They want to destroy the family at all costs.
now, mind you, I don't think your life is over when you get a divorce.
No.
I think there's like a fine balance between like not shaming someone for getting a divorce
Yeah.
and not casting judgment, but also like the culture normalizing that and almost like glamorizing, making it's so chic to get a divorce, and like it's just so that's so toxic. Like you
No.
shouldn't want somebody to get a divorce. If anything, you should advocate to make it work. But like just doing like the clothing lines in Target, it's like another one of these like just trends that's just terrible for young women to look up to. Like once again.
It's so disgusting. I'm just so over all of this. Like, we should be celebrating families. And obviously, if someone has been through a divorce, it's anyone who's been through a divorce will most likely tell you it was a traumatic experience and it's
Yeah.
nothing to celebrate. Maybe they're happier now on the other side and they're like, this was the right decision for me, but it was never an easy decision.
Yeah.
And it came with obviously so many trials and tribulations. So
Mhm.
I'm sick of this culture and all these brands, they're so annoying. Anyway, transitioning to a more happy topic, but yesterday, my family, like we woke up at like 5 a.m. to watch USA win gold. And it was a little difficult in my family because for those of you guys that don't know, my parents are actually, they're Canadian, but came to the US. They cheer for the US now because they're American, but
Mhm.
all my family in Canada obviously was cheering for Canada. So it's
Yeah.
really fun in my family because it's a big rivalry. And this was the first time in decades. I think it might be, I might get this date wrong, 1980. I
Mhm.
was in Lake Placid was the last time that USA Hockey got gold,
Wow.
and I've always loved Jack Hughes. Like I think he's like
Mhm.
great. His brother's great. They're just so like all American
Yeah.
guys, and he was the one that scored the in overtime. They went into overtime for anyone. I feel like most of you girls probably knew that this went down. He's the one that scored the winning goal, and
Mhm.
our goalie was just fantastic. It was just such a great event. And Jack Hughes, I love what he said afterwards. We will roll the clip.
This is all about our country right now. I love the USA. I love my teammates. It's unbelievable. The USA Hockey Brotherhood is so strong, and we had so much support from ex-players. I'm so proud to be American today.
And I love that the White House too. Like, I just love that we live in a White House where we like trolled Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, do you remember when I posted that photo of us at the Lightning game and I said that, I mean, I think there were like, maybe it was back in 2025 I posted it, I think. And I took Jamie to this Lightning game in Tampa. We had so much fun, a little too much fun. Maybe we had to like leave early. Do you remember? You remember that? But I think that year, like 8 of our players, Lightning players, were in the Team USA, Team Canada game. And
Yeah.
actually, like 5 of our players, like Braden Point and Brandon Hagel, we had a couple others too, were playing on Canada's side. Then we had Jack on Team USA. And so it was like we had so many bolts on the ice. That was awesome. But I just remember that posting that. And then I still have people to this day coming underneath. They're like, are you girls really this stupid? Like, they're not even on the team this year. I'm like, I posted this a year ago. But my favorite thing is like we saw Kash Patel in the
Yeah, I know, that was hilarious.
and everybody's like crapping on him right now, and I'm like, let him be a patriot.
Yeah.
Let him go into the locker
We can
room and have
fun.
some fun.
Make
Like, come
fun
on.
legal again.
Yeah,
of
seriously.
course. Oh, I also have to mention this. Okay, so this HuffPost piece for our listening audience, it says like if cheering for the USA and seeing the American flag waving makes you uncomfortable, you are not alone. These liberals, like I literally can't with them. Imagine like not being excited for like I love it. USA, USA. Like I had Vivian cheering USA. Like I just love being patriotic and fun.
Partisan. Like why can't each side love our country? It's like I think when people have an American flag outside their home, you like automatically know they're conservative these days. How sad is that? That like
No,
you
it
can't be a
is.
liberal and embrace this country. Like it's just depressing in my opinion.
No, it's completely depressing. And that actually brings me into the next person who I wanted to mention to wrap this together. So Alysa Liu, who grew up in the Bay Area, she was the figure skater. And once again, she won gold. And I think it had been since 2006.
Okay.
We had not won gold in that event, which is incredible. I want to put up this tweet because it's exactly what you're talking about. Okay, so this tweet for our listening audience says, I don't care that American Olympic champion Alysa Liu is a lib. She put the flag on and competed for her country instead of taking money from China to compete for commies. I don't need every person to validate my political beliefs. I'm capable of doing that on my own. And this is in response to, so I think House Republicans posted a photo of Alysa Liu winning gold, and a bunch of liberals came on, and of course they have to like get out there and Karen us all the time that she's a liberal. She would hate you guys. And I love what he said because I agree. I actually do not care about any Olympic athletes' like personal political views as long as you come and represent this country in a beautiful way, just like Alysa Liu did. She has every right to believe stuff at home, but she comes, focuses on figure skating, and waves the American flag because whether you're a liberal, you're a conservative, whatever your political belief is, if you are an American, you are an American, and you stand underneath the American flag. And I just find it that it's so telling how the left is immediately like so quick to jump on and be like, you're not allowed to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we're not toxic like you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We just are here to celebrate our country. And it goes to the Kash Patel thing. He's here to celebrate his country. Like, I think that there are unifying moments in our culture where I feel like conservatives are trying to like reach out to the left, like, come on, let's have that unifying moment together. Like USA hockey, Alysa Liu, the Olympics.
And sports can do that.
Yes.
It's like, that's what sports used to be anyway. It's
Yeah.
like something that unified us. And then, of course, with like the BLM riots, it tore us apart with the kneeling for the anthem. And it was just like a disrespect to our men and women in uniform. But now, like, we're trying to come back together as a nation, and like sports and other events. Yeah, like the Super Bowl should have been a moment where we could have done that. The Olympics is a moment where we should be able to do that. And then you just have liberals ruining it, like always.
And I think it's hard for the left to understand sometimes, but like, I don't hate you for being left wing or having
Right.
different political ideas. I really
Like,
don't.
I don't like your point of view, but I don't like hate you as a person.
No, I can still celebrate you when you do amazing things.
Mhm.
And on behalf of our country, they're on the opposite side. They hate you for existing. Like,
Yeah.
they're like actively, and it's like these reporters, right, that we talked about with Hunter Hess, who, by the way, got 10th, who said, remember, he's like, I'm only competing for my family and friends, not for the country, because it's difficult sometimes to rationalize competing underneath the American flag. Hope your family and friends liked you winning 10th place.
Yeah.
I think the pro-American guy won the whole thing. So I'm like, I don't know. There was and Amber Glenn, I know, messed up with the figure skating.
Okay.
It seems like there's a common thread when you come on and you're not nice to our country, you don't do well.
Yeah.
So I like I said, forget the politics. Conservative Democrats are welcome to watch the Olympic Games. Republicans are welcome to watch the Olympic Games. When Joe Biden was president, I didn't like Joe Biden at all. I did not vote for Joe Biden, but I still loved America, and I still cheered for America, and I wanted America to succeed. And it's very concerning, I feel like, on the other side that sometimes isn't the same feeling.
I mean, I just think that you get a once in a lifetime opportunity. You shouldn't take advantage of that. You're competing on behalf of millions of people, showcasing like our strength as a country and like making light of it and making fun. It should be like a celebratory thing for you to go and compete against some of the best athletes in the world. You shouldn't take advantage of that and talk poorly about the country that you represent or the people in that country. Instead, you should be using it as like an uplifting moment and just like be an advocate for unity. And some of these people just don't have that common sense. And we can celebrate those athletes as well. And we can put those differences aside at the end of the day because it's such like a magical moment that we won gold. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun, it's
But they don't
patriotic.
want unity. That's the problem.
Yeah.
The way they win politically is to divide. So
Hmm.
that's why, all of the social movements that they do, whether it's BLM, whether it's about promoting open borders
Because none of it's
immigration.
logical. I mean, look
Yeah.
at freaking BLM. George Floyd was like, he held a gun up to his pregnant girlfriend's stomach and was like crashed out on fentanyl. But like, and they started
But the
all
whole
these
point is to
riots where
pit
they're like,
Americans against
yeah, but I was like, they
Americans.
started all these riots to like burn all these cities down, and none of it was like rooted in logic at all. It was like sheer emotion and like reactiveness to what happened.
But
So that's the thing.
it was pinning people against each other for their races. And then it's like with the immigration issue, they do the same thing. They're trying,
Yes.
it's a
Yeah.
very common sense thing. Hi, you need to legally come into this country. Everybody understood that until 5 minutes ago, until the left made this an issue, and they did that
Well, yeah,
purposefully to divide
look at
us.
old comments with Obama and Biden. Like
Yeah.
this used to be a common sense issue that everybody could agree upon, but now everybody has moved so far like on each side that like we haven't had the moments where we come together anymore because like it's so polarized now. You have people on
Yeah.
like the far right and then the far left. And maybe it's a horseshoe effect, who knows? Like maybe you eventually come around
Yeah.
and you're, closer because of it. I don't know.
But
But
Democrats win elections when they divide people and they get people angry with a lot of these like social media movements and these protests, like that culture,
mhm.
the No Kings, the BLM, the ICE protests, all of these things. They win elections when they divide people and get people very angry and not feel that we're united as a country.
Soros. Yeah.
Like Republicans win when we feel united as a country and we are all standing underneath the American flag and we
Mhm.
want to be together and being the best in the world all together, coming together. That's when Republicans win. Democrats win when they divide. So it's
Mhm.
purposeful that they don't like events like the Olympics. They have to inject, or the Super Bowl where we talked about where they
Mhm.
had to put, the Spanish speaking Bad Bunny performer that no one could understand. They have to always inject their politics into any type of event that will bring people together because that's how they win elections. And it's very toxic.
Mhm.
If people are happy with each other, they vote Republican. If people are unhappy with each other, they vote Democrat. I think we touched on this like maybe 2 weeks ago, but I have to talk about her again. I think this woman is truly the villain of the Olympics, and I will say, as much as I don't wanna inject politics with any of our US Olympians, this you can because she's a traitor and she left the United States for this. Well, she didn't actually. She still goes to Stanford University. She grew up in San Francisco, and I'm pretty sure she still lives in the country because she won't answer questions, even though we're talking about Eileen Gu, of course. Even though when you do compete when you're a Chinese citizen, you're supposed to not have any passports anywhere else, but people think that she got a special exemption for that. But Olympian Eileen Gu, who got silver, she did not get gold. I think that there's a reason for that. I feel like God always works in mysterious ways.
Mhm.
Says she feels like a punching bag amid backlash for competing with China over the US. Well, Eileen, I hope you deserve every single piece of hate that you're getting.
Well, yeah, because this is the country that gave her every single opportunity to do so, and
It's so
she's such a
disgusting.
sellout to get millions of dollars from China, and then you're just going,
$23 million a year, they're estimating.
this.
That would just never would be worth it for me.
No, she's a sellout, is
Yeah.
what she is.
Even if you're not, I was actually talking to my mom about this. Pretend you're like, she's obviously a leftist. She is. But even if you are a leftist who isn't like raw America, like being on Team USA is by far the best team to be on.
Mhm.
You get the most clout, you get the most everything.
You
And
wanna be on the People's Republic of China is what the CCP's team? Like, what because of the money? I don't know. That's just, like, such a poor value set to, like, just give up everything like, to rub some money together and then,
yeah.
like, to win silver. It's like,
And
I don't know.
even if she did that, she'd still be a traitor, to be clear. I would not like her. But even if she did that and just went over to China and shut up, She didn't. She competes for China, but has fights with everybody in the U.S. and is constantly commenting on U.S. politics. Doesn't comment on anything to do with China because you can't, of course. So you can't comment on all the human rights abuses and the terrible regime that is the CCP that imprisons people. No free
Child
speech.
labor.
Yeah, the Uyghur Muslims. We could go on for days that they incarcerate there and target. But JD Vance came out, our amazing vice president. He came out on Fox News and obviously criticized her. And she responded, she goes, "So many athletes compete for a different country. People only have a problem with me doing it because they kind of lump China into a monolithic entity and they just hate China. So it's not really about what they think it's about." Okay, spare me, Eileen. You go to Stanford University, you know exactly why people are criticizing you. So just the
And she's from
ignorance.
San Francisco, you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. And she has every single thing to say about US politics constantly. Like she's beyond woke, she's coming out with all the progressive social movements. And people criticize her for China. And she goes, "Well, I don't really know why I'm being criticized for China." Spare me, Eileen. You're a traitor, and I'm disgusted by you. And truly, I hope the money was worth it.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is either.
Okay, let's get into I have no words, where we always have a lot of words. We actually have 2 this week because we couldn't decide. We'll do first the more serious one.
Okay.
This is actually
Wait,
serious.
which one? Neither of these are serious. Which one are you talking about?
Okay, I'll roll the clip.
Can you name 3 countries besides the USA?
Wait, aren't countries in... No, wait, yeah? Wait.
Do you know what year the US was founded?
That I don't know.
Take a guess. What year?
1965?
Yes. Do you know how many continents there are?
No, I'm stupid.
Take a guess. Yeah.
No, I'm stupid.
No, you know this. Take a number.
50?
Camryn, I've literally lost my hope in humanity, and I've actually been meaning to cover this for a while because I see these clips constantly on my TikTok where they ask people just on the street the most basic questions imaginable. Like I saw one where it's like, what 2 oceans border the US? Arctic? I'm like, how do you no, this is a complete indictment of our education system, 1. And 2, this is my other thing I have to say about this. With the advent of smartphones, you would think you have more a peasant from the 1500s couldn't even wrap their head around the access that you have as a person to information. Think about people who lived throughout all of basically most of US, not just US, global history. They had to go books and they had to go read their own books, go to libraries, figure out word of mouth, hear from schools and everything. And somehow when you read documents that people would write and letters to each other, they have better English than they did nowadays. And they seem to be more well-versed around just global politics, geography, history than nowadays. We have a smartphone. Like I said, all the information you could Google any question basically known to man and you can get an answer. And yet people have never been dumber. I don't know how you live in this world and you just genuinely know nothing. It's how do you make it?
Well, my opinion, I think we should just completely abolish the Department of Education after seeing this. I know, I genuinely.
We see you, Linda McMahon.
We do. We love you. But that's why we saw President Trump really standing up against these leftist institutions, because not only are they indoctrinating, the education's so poor. But that's how Democrats win elections, because then you're more prone to being able to be manipulated in the headlines.
Yeah.
When you're reading these types of news articles, you're not researching to gather more information, because why would you? You're not tested in school to do that. You just read a headline and you think it's true and you don't look further. You don't have critical thinking skills or comprehension skills.
I don't even think these people, Camryn, are reading headlines. I don't think these people read. These are people who literally live underneath a rock.
Yeah, but I think they'll go on X and they'll see a video of, let's say, Don Lemon calling Trump a racist. And they're like, yeah, he's a racist. And it's they don't even look in any further. And that's how they're able to manipulate so many voters, is because they are able to just have these baseless accusations and like just completely defame people. And you know, the masses are believing them because
Yeah.
again, like, what were you taught in school? You weren't taught to like think for yourself. You weren't taught to like swim against the current. Like the basic things that we used to learn just aren't, they're not listening anymore. It's either
Yeah.
like the teachers aren't demanding anything, and why would they? I mean, honestly, we're not really incentivizing teachers to be like the best teachers. They're not
Well,
getting paid enough.
Well,
Like,
this is what's so crazy right now. So, a lot of the education systems would just keep pushing people along. Even if they failed, they would just continue allowing them to graduate and
yeah,
go to
because
the
there's
next
no
level.
performance-based pay for teachers where it's like, "Oh, all of your kids get all of these A's, we're going to like bump your pay." I
Well,
think they should create like incentive-based
and
plans
they
for
needed to
teachers.
abolish just the teachers union. The
Yeah.
teachers union is the worst thing that's ever happened to education. No, it's like I mean, yes, in a sense, I agree with you. A good teacher does deserve better pay, but like a lot of these teachers' unions are just literally aiding and abetting the worst people to continue to stay in our education system
Mhm.
and allow them to, like you said, there's just no performance review. There's nothing that's like, hey, if you're a bad teacher and your students are failing, like you're done, you're cut. The teachers' unions protect these people. And we remember during the teachers' unions during COVID where they were flying off going to vacation when kids were doing, you know, the online school that was terrible education and they continued to keep the schools closed.
Mhm.
But what's crazy is in right now in many because states handle on the state level most of the education is handled on the state level.
Mhm.
What's crazy is that a lot of teachers were just continuing to bump kids along. If they would fail, they get to go to the next grade and they would graduate. They would quote unquote graduate knowing nothing because they would just allow them to graduate. But states like Mississippi have now stop that, where you need to pass these classes or you're being held back.
Oh, okay.
And they've really, in Mississippi people used to say Mississippi was like the butt of the joke, the worst education. They
Oh,
have
yeah.
a better education now than Oregon. So you're seeing these blue states go down the toilet with their
Mhm.
education. And Oregon is, you know, a relatively like wealthy state. They don't deal with the same levels of poverty as Mississippi does.
Right.
And they should have access to very good education in Oregon. But you're seeing Oregon, California, New York, Illinois go down the toilet with education. And you're
Mhm.
seeing these red states from, you know, areas of the country that are not particularly super wealthy, like Mississippi, continue to rise up just by common sense policies where we're just not allowing kids to fail and we're going to make sure they're educated.
Mhm.
So that was my first point. My second point is people in these videos, they vote. There's a good
Yeah.
chance these people are voting, which shows me when people there's like this campaign, right? Like that happens
And
every
drive too.
I'm more concerned
No,
about
but yeah, but
yeah.
like they could hurt if they don't even know these things, how are they like to have basic life skills either?
That's
You
another
know
good
what I
point.
mean? Like, I don't know.
But there's like this huge campaign always, like when we're about to have an election, where they're like, get everyone out to vote, get everyone out to vote. And I'm kind of like, do we want everyone out to vote?
No, just because you can doesn't mean you should, in my opinion.
And this is like controversial to say, but and people, this could never pass in the US. But I actually think there needs to be like when you become a citizen of the US, for example, like I remember my parents went through this. They had to take a test and know
Mhm.
basic things about America.
Yeah, of course.
Basic civics, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
how many senators do we have? What are the three branches of government? How many people do we have in the House of Representatives? When are our elections done? Like, you know, who was the first president? Very basic questions that
Mhm.
you had to answer. I think we should have the same thing for voting.
Yeah.
Because when you just allow, I mean, not allow, because anyone should be able to pass that. But when it's just like mass amount of voting and no one knows anything, then that's not, you know, Thomas Jefferson talked about this. You need to have an excited and educated populace to have a good democracy.
Mhm.
So I think it should be, anyone should be able to pass that. But it needs to be, it's a civic duty to go vote. And so anyone should be able to do that. People are like, you're trying to suppress votes. No, I'm not saying that at all. I think we need to empower people to be educated and take a basic test and know what's going on in order to make very serious decisions about our country.
I think next time a liberal just throws in a hate comment under your thing, you should ask them how many continents there are. Anytime any leftist comes after me now, I'm gonna name like, okay, name 7 countries in the Middle East, and then just see if they can do it.
But like truly, I think that there is like a conspiracy that I do think like the dumber you are, the more you're like
the
going to be
easier you are to manipulate,
to
though.
manipulate. And I think like a lot of these Democrats just like literally want us
I
to be
don't
like
think that's even a
an
conspiracy
uneducated group of people that they
theorist.
just control.
I don't even think that's a conspiracy theory. I think that's so true. Like, the dumber the population, the easy they are, like, to manipulate.
Yeah.
And, like, that's what they're doing. They're doing it, like, via news cycle. They're doing it with their policy. They're playing on your emotions. That's what they do with all of these social issues.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's why they allow that's why they're legalizing weed in mass, but then, they regulate tobacco because tobacco, I'm not promoting smoking, but like nicotine makes you very attentive and makes you, think real, like it makes you, it's a stimulant that makes you think and energized. And weed obviously suppresses all of your system.
like,
It's a
numbs
depressant. It
you
numbs
and-
you. You're easy to control.
Yeah.
But anyway, to be clear, I think I believe in the right to vote in this country.
They want you dumb, out of shape. What else? Out of tune with what's going on in the world.
They want you dumb, fat, lazy, and just don't have a job,
ugly.
live off of welfare,
Yeah.
stamp your EBT, and then show up to the polls to vote
Yep.
for them again.
Mm-hmm.
And we're about empowering people to be their best self and to achieve things, be self-sufficient, have some personal responsibility, take life by the horns and roll.
Yeah.
And I think, to be clear, I believe anyone who's over 18 and is an American citizen has the right to vote and should, but I do think we need to start taking it more seriously.
Agreed.
And these people really concern me. When people are like, how are these crazy policies passing in a lot of these cities where you're like, what? No common sense. It's because of people like this, you guys. Okay, I have no words. I literally can't stop laughing about this. Okay, so
Jamie and we were at the Fairmont last night and we had like 2 glasses of wine and Jamie like just looks at me randomly and she was like, did you see where this guy got Looksmaxxed or something? I was like, Jamie, what the are you talking about? And then she shows me this video. She goes, the wig snatching.
wait, let me lay out the whole thing for them. Okay. So this started with clavicular. What's his name? Clavicular. I can never pronounce his name. So this went viral on Twitter. He was frame-mogged, which means like I guess he had a worse body than the ASU frat president. So then this went viral because people thought this was really funny. And for reference, I have like my 2 brothers are 21, and so they don't talk as extreme as this, but they have like these words, and like you guys always think they're funny. So I thought that was really funny. Then another tweet came out later where it was like, clavicular was mid-gesture gooning when a group of foids came and spiked his cortisol levels. Cry emoji. Is ignoring the foids while munting and mogging moids more useful than SMV Chad fishing in the club? And this went viral because people are like, what language is this? And how sad is this? I kind of understand it.
Yeah, me too.
So anyway, it started this whole trend.
It's the spiked cortisol levels for me.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying you're stressed out, I really hope this goes in the history books.
Yeah.
You know how like we would have to learn about things that like former presidents would say, or like the language, and like if somebody were to do like a propagandist artwork, you would have to interpret it. Like I hope that like in the history books one day, kids have to like do a multiple choice and be like, what does Looksmaxxing mean? What does Frame-Mogging mean?
The AP style rep, like, please explain in the reference, because someone was like, when the tariffs were struck down by the Supreme Court, they were like, Trump tried tariff maxing and Supreme Court spiked White House's cortisol levels. I hope that people have like an AP style, right?
Yeah.
Like, please explain the context of this situation in the Supreme Court case. Okay, now we're getting to the actual I can't keep a straight face. So this has become like obviously now a popular trend where these tweets, because
also Jamie has I think it's because I send her so much unhinged stuff on X. We're like in this echo chamber of like absolute unhinged behavior.
My ex is insane.
She goes, "Did you see this?" And also she turns the phone, and this guy's wig just gets snatched off his head. I was like, Jamie, where are you finding these videos?
So this came up on my ex feed. Number 2 ranked Chad Andrenic suffered a massive cortisol spike after a fan snatched his wig, exposing his true hairline. I don't even know what to say about this. Like, there's like just zero context. So I guess with like these young guys, they're trying to like Looksmaxx compete with each other. And someone then commented, they're like, this is worse than rape.
But, like, did they used to do that in war? Like, think of George Washington with, like, his big white hair. Like, did they did they used to, like, fire rounds and snatch those fucking wigs off their head? Like
Like the braid at the back, like snatch it off with the pioneer hat.
Do they do that? Like, have we come full circle in
Yeah,
history?
did it spike his cortisol level?
Was he on his, like, giant horse and he had, like, a soldier come by and, like, rip it off his head?
I like sent this to my group chat. My dad's like, "What?" I literally can't keep it straight.
Oh
And
my god, and the way that, like, he went from, like, a tent and this actually would send me into orbit because he was, like, Looksmaxxing, they, like, snatch it off his head and you just see his, like, his shoulders relax, his posture gets so bad, and his face is, like is he, like, ready to kill someone?
I literally I forgot we have a listening audience.
Oh
For those
my
of you guys can't
gosh.
see, some guy just came and ripped off his wig while I was seeing
No,
the
but if
video.
this actually happened to me, like, that would send me into orbit. Like, I
Cameron
don't
would be
even think you
suing
need to
for
throw a punch.
defamation.
All you need to do to get under my skin is just snatch my wig off my head.
Karen, remember in the White House when you did the halo thing?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, remember when you went down? I feel like our girls can. When you went down the slide and the
Okay. I went to the lake in Lake Cumberland in Kentucky, and one time I was on this houseboat. It was for my 21st birthday. And I went down this slide and I had my halo extension. So if you guys don't know, halo extensions have like this mini band where like you put it right here and then 2 clips in the back and then you just kind of move your hair to where like you can't see it. I went down the slide and my whole weave just sunk to the bottom of the lake. I came up from the water looking like a bald rat. I was like,
where did Cameron's hair go?
I had like one strand of hair on my head. Like, imagine me like slicked back with water in my hair. You just see like this pigtail like that. And I had like luscious extensions in my head and they just sunk to the bottom of the lake.
I feel like that those extensions are still living down there, and like fish are in the habitat.
Some fish made it like their reef. Like they put it with like all the rocks and things to like hide under.
I have no words, which is
The amount of things you find at the bottom of lakes, so like sunglasses.
oh, my mom lost
everything.
her sunglasses jet skiing. It was like traumatic.
Yeah.
It was like her 9/11.
Yeah.
Her like nice, I can't remember what brand, like flew off all jet skiing.
Roman Empire.
She like still talks about it to this day.
Gosh, that's
Oh my
horrible.
God. It's but okay, can I actually say this? Me being like the nerdy person I am, like tying this back. I actually love that the young guys are getting into this Looksmaxxing in a culture where we were promoting obese people on covers and just like pajamas on
I would rather
planes.
see this guy's wig snatch off his head
Yeah.
than like him being like obese and
Yeah.
and glorifying like eating
At
McDonald's.
least he's
every
trying to
day.
improve his hairline, right?
Yeah.
And these guys, like the clavicular guy saw me, was like on. It's so weird, you guys, but like I feel like it is at least a bit better. Like he was like hammering his face to try and make his face look more like snatched
Chiseled?
or whatever and
Yeah.
chiseled. And these guys are like in competition who can have like the best body, like the frame-mogging. I'm like, you know what? This is the backlash from covers like this. We'll put it on the screen. This obese woman. I think
Me
the
too.
kids are gonna be okay.
Yeah, I do too. And honestly, I think that's a justified reaction. Like I think he had justified anger there. Like if somebody snatched my wig, I'd probably have the same reaction. I'd see red.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're running out of time. We're skipping questions today. Sorry, girls. Went a little
We
long
wanted to show you
on the
guys that
jester
video.
gooning. Okay, hot or not? Okay, I actually have not watched this yet because I've been just traveling a lot, but I need to get and watch Love Story with JFK Jr. and
Yeah.
Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, and everyone's like obsessed with her style, obsessed with her love story. Hot or not?
I'm gonna go hot. I actually was like a huge fan of her before this became.
You
like,
always had her
mainstream.
book.
I had her book, and I loved her initials were CBK, like
Yeah.
mine, and I always got into it. But people like what they don't realize is that they've like really over romanticized her and
Mhm.
John, which John is like super attractive, came from an amazing family, but guys, they were so toxic
Yeah.
together. Like but like I saw photos of them fighting in Central Park. I'm like, this is so real. Like,
Yeah.
a couple's
I low-key kinda
experience
love
is-
that, though.
Yeah, I'm like couples experience that all the time.
Yeah.
But I've watched the Love Story. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I
Oh,
think
okay.
they overemphasize, like, him being a part of the Kennedy family too much, where it's, like, such a strain on their relationship when I think
Mhm.
they should have pushed the paparazzi being more of a strain. Because
Oh,
I think throughout
interesting.
their relationship, she just didn't wanna be in front of the cameras,
Mhm.
and that was, like, a big, component of, like, just incompatibility because he was
Mhm.
so, like, in the spotlight all the
Yeah.
time, and I think that they did a good job showing him as, like, a bachelor, showing her as, like, a really successful professional in Calvin Klein, and,
Mhm.
like, working up and having all of those contacts and how she met John, but yeah, I think they could have written it, like, a little bit better, but they casted it so well.
Yeah, okay, interesting. Like I said, I need to watch it. What do you think about her style?
I like her style in the
I
show.
love
I
her
think it
style too.
showcases it. She was very basic, like,
Yeah.
and I actually like that because besides this, I know, like, we're kind of just, like, in like, casual wear today, but I don't like prints on me either, so I
Mhm.
like how that kinda showcases more of, like, a basic but elevated style where she's just doing, like, neutral colors, black mostly,
Yeah.
and, like, her blonde hair is the accessory, like, she's not
Yeah.
wearing any jewelry, she's not
Yeah, she
doing
didn't
a
wear
ton of
jewelry,
makeup,
yeah.
like, she really, like, showcases just, like, being naturally beautiful.
Mhm.
She doesn't have, like, work done, she has very thin lips, if you guys have seen that show, I'm a fan of it, I'll go high.
Yeah, I don't think she wore any logos either, and I totally love her style. I think her style is really, quite amazing, like, she was really known for that, and I like
Mhm.
that she kept to like, I like that she had her rules, right, and then she kept to them, like, I think
Yeah.
she's just so effortlessly chic, that's the best way to put it, and I do love that, like, the Kennedy family definitely has, like, this intrigue, they're American royalty, so
Mhm.
I actually love I love when we showcase, like, shows like this where I would love to, like, know even more about Jackie Kennedy's life and
Yeah,
do more
that
shows
was
like that, and so I'm hugely in favor of it.
Mhm.
Okay, my mom was like, "Jamie, you have to do this one, tassels." So, like, tassel jewelry is really in, tassels on, like, coats and everything, tassels are really in this year.
I think it's fun for, like, Western wear,
Yeah,
obviously, like, if you were to do, like, a suede or a leather coat with tassels, I think it depends on the event that you're going to, but I'm gonna go not. I'm just more simple these
mhm.
days, but I think it's cute when girls, like, follow the trends and everything, I just don't think that's something that I would add to my closet.
Interesting. I actually love, like, that, like, cowboy boots are in. I love Western
Yeah.
wear. I think it's really cool. Even if you don't live out west, like,
Yeah.
I think it's really cool to bring that to the city. Like, I know a lot of people, like, in New York will wear, like, cowboy boots and stuff like that.
Yes.
I just love, like, Americana, like,
I do
anything that
too.
highlights, like, our
Yes.
style. Like, I loved at the Olympics the Ralph Lauren outfits everybody
Oh,
wore. Like,
yes.
I'm just hugely in favor of that. I really like that type of style, so I'm gonna go hot. Okay, kitten heels.
I feel like we put this on here because now girls are kind of, like, going against kitten heels and
Yeah.
bringing back, like, a stiletto, like a
Yeah.
strong heel, and I'm going to go not for kitten heels. Do I like them and they're in my closet? Yes, but, like, I'm honestly in an era, like, I love Melania Trump's, like, 7-inch Christian Louboutin heels where she's, like, walking, gliding in the grass, going
Yeah.
to Marine One where I'm like, "How are you
Oh my
walking
god, I
those in
would
the
be a
grass?"
wreck
I'm
walking
like,
across
"You're
that.
just iconic," and it just accentuates your legs, like, I'm all
Yeah.
for like, wear the stiletto, like,
I
be
agree.
bold, and it's hot.
I am too. I love a platform. We all know I love, like, my Prada platform
Yes.
shoes. I like taller the better, in my opinion. I do like sometimes a bit of a smaller heel, but I hate the kitten heels where they're, like, this big. Like, I'm like,
Oh, I
"What?
know.
Ew, that's ugly."
What even is
So,
that? It's like a stub.
I'm on the same page as you. I like a full stiletto or a platform heel. The taller, the better. It's more slimming. Okay, nail art. I hate nail art. I'm just gonna say not for me. I hate it. I like a CBK approach. Like,
Yeah.
keep your nails so simple. I don't even have nail polish on right now.
It's way too much for me. I've never had nail art, honestly. I think that there are some cute designs, like, I always see, like, Campbell, like, that, Pookie, she'll get, like, she got, like, a little heart for Valentine's Day or polka dots, like, I think she makes it look cute, but I don't know, every time I feel like I've wanted to branch out, I'd always regret it with my nails, like, I always stick to, like, pinks or nude colors or, like, a French tip. I
Mhm.
never go out of, like,
Remember we used to get the glitter nails that were hideous in the White House?
only for Christmas.
Yeah, I know you're right, but it was so ugly,
You
both of
got,
our
like,
nails.
glitter green, and I got, like, glitter red.
Glitter green nails. Like, what was I thinking?
But it was kinda cute for Christmas, but it wasn't, like, too crazy. You didn't
Yeah.
have, like, fake nails on. It was just, like,
No,
tiny
that was
little.
the one time I did do fake
Oh, you
nails.
did?
Yeah. I will say, girls, like, I've been doing gel for years, and I've had to take a break because my nails are getting thin. And I used to
Oh,
be like,
yeah.
"Who cares if your nails are thin? They just grow back." But, like, all of a sudden, like, when I was at the nail salon, it was, like, hurting to get my nails
Oh,
done. So I'm
yeah.
like, I'd start just doing regular polish for a little bit, which I
Mhm.
hate, but It is what it is. Anyway, I've
Yeah.
never that was the only time I've ever done fake nails, and I never like my we did hot or not a while ago for long
Mhm.
nails. You like long nails? I don't like long nails. I like short nails.
Yeah, but you have smaller hands than me, so I feel like your nails look good. They're, like, proportional. I feel
Mhm.
like since I have longer, fingers, I need longer nails to just make it look normal, or else they look like stubs.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know, but I don't do them too long. Like, these are probably oh, in between.
I don't even wanna show my nails to anyone. Okay, let's head into propaganda we're not falling for. Okay, propaganda that I'm not falling for is the promotion of AOC. This woman, we called it from the beginning. This woman is, I just feel like the left promoted AOC because she was young. She was dynamic. I will give her that. She was dynamic. She was good on social media. She had a huge following, especially like young women were super interested in her. But that's all she is. She's just a social media influencer. And I feel like so many of these representatives are not coming into Congress to actually represent America and to pass policy. They're coming in to gain clout and become literal influencers. Like that is their goal. They want attention and influence. It used to be like people, I feel like back in, when this country was first created, people would come and represent the government to truly like do good for America and to create a better country. Then it became about the money. These people were coming in to stock trade. We all know like the boomer type,
Mhm.
the boomer politicians in there that are just making money off of this. Now it's
AOC.
like I'm coming in
Or
to
I
get
mean, Nancy
Instagram
Pelosi.
followers
Yeah.
and I'm coming in to get attention. Like I think Jasmine Crockett falls into that. But AOC, I think this showed more than anything. She was at the Munich Security Conference. We will roll that clip.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is this is, of course, a very longstanding policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point. And we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
Camryn, she literally doesn't have any policies. Like, she actually does not have a worldview. She doesn't even know what she believes in. The only thing she knows is just this, like, woke social ideology. She knows white people bad, men bad, America bad, patriarchy. We're for abortion. We're for LGBTQ, IA+, whatever, 2SL, IGB, I can't even say it. We're for that whole group. We're for the trans people. We're for the immigrants. That's all she knows. That is her entire ideology, is just this like intersectionality pyramid where white men are the bad people that are oppressing everyone. Outside of that, like,
Yeah,
isn't
she married to a white man?
yeah, of course she is. They all are.
Yeah.
But like they ask her a very, it's a complicated question about Taiwan and China. Like there's a lot of layers to it. It's obviously a very difficult and contentious situation, making sure that we have power on the global stage, but we don't want to put troops on the ground anywhere because I think that Americans are very against war after decades of Afghanistan. And so it's a difficult question, but it's one that you're going to be asked if you're at a foreign policy conference. It's like a pretty preliminary question. And she's just like, like has you had months to prepare. This was you showing that you're going to be a presidential candidate and you get there and you're, like how embarrassing. And it's like exactly what we called from the beginning.
Speak on what you know too, like if there's any legislation or if you've talked with anybody on like the Foreign Relations Committee or anybody like from a former like NSC council, National Security Council and the Biden admin, like think about how many resources she had and she could have like spoken on what she knows, like whether it's like policy driven of like any legislation that she's drafted or any of her colleagues were about to push, and like she didn't know how to answer it.
She didn't know. She said that Venezuela was below the equator. It's not. It's north of the equator. She tried to own Marco Rubio by saying, because Marco Rubio did, the difference between Marco Rubio and AOC is just night and day. Marco Rubio's very well versed on international affairs, history, Western civilization. He just has a very strong worldview that guides him throughout policies. And that's very important that you have a very strong foundation, because that foundation obsession is what you go back to every time you're making any type of policy decisions across the board, whether it be immigration, whether it be global affairs, world politics, whether it be the economy. You have to have some guiding principles there. AOC has none besides just hating white people, hating America. And this just could not be more clear. She tried to own Marco Rubio being like that, because Marco Rubio said that cowboy culture comes from the Spanish, which it does. And she said, no, it comes from indigenous like groups in Mexico and black people. And I'm like, but Africa, nor did indigenous people in North America, they never domesticated a horse. So no, cowboy culture does come from Europe originally. And it's like, that was part of Marco Rubio, like a great speech that he was giving about the strength of Western society. It's just to come in there and pretend to own. Anyway, this woman is an idiot. Like,
I
truly
think
she
so
is.
many people in Congress like her as a person and just as a that doesn't mean you should
That's exactly what I'm
be a
saying.
politician.
She's just
Like,
not
John
propaganda.
Kennedy
Yeah.
is just like so funny when he was like, she's the reason we have directions on the back of a shampoo bottle.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
love when people talk about that because they're like, or Tim Burchett calling her like the friendly neighborhood Marxist or
Yeah.
something. Like, I do think that
But I
she's
wouldn't
able
even
to cross the aisle and like maintain those friendships. We saw that with like Matt Gaetz and stuff, but I just don't think that she's a competent individual. But I think that's what the Democrats like. I think that's the way for them to pull the strings. And honestly, I do think Democrats do a really good job of being unified and being all on the same page and being very loyal to one another, like no matter what. And we've seen, obviously, like with Republicans, we're probably not as united.
I actually hope a piece of me is like, I hope Democrats put her forward in 2028 because I think she'd lose. But for the small chance that she'd win, I'm like very concerned for this country because this woman has no idea what's going on and she doesn't surround herself with anyone that knows either, which is quite clear by her performance that we saw.
I feel like it'd be Kamala 2.0.
Yeah.
And I think it would just be like common sense to
I think she might even be worse than Kamala, though. And that's saying a lot.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. This is not as serious, I feel like, but the propaganda I'm not falling for is LinkedIn. I feel like I used to update LinkedIn all the time, and it was just more of like a young professional site. And now I just don't see the point in having so many apps. Like, I feel like there's like YouTube, Instagram, X. We have LinkedIn now. We have like there's Snapchat. I don't use Snapchat, but there's Snapchat. There's all these different platforms. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't think you need to tell everybody what you're doing all the time either. I just don't think that it's...
LinkedIn is so annoying. People are like, I ran a marathon and here's the 8 lessons that I learned that I'm bringing into my workplace tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, LinkedIn is like just annoying.
But what's the point? Yeah, like, and I always get the emails where it's like 300 people searched you this week. And I'm like, why? Yeah, why? What do you need? What is LinkedIn? What information is LinkedIn going to provide you about me? Like, I don't update it.
You can just hit me up on DM.
Yeah, like, and even then I probably won't respond.
Yeah, I see
I'm
that
like,
too.
I wish you wouldn't look me up. Wish you wouldn't know this much about me. Why don't you just stay to yourself?
It's like Facebook. I don't even use Facebook anymore.
Facebook. Yeah, there's just so many platforms. And just, I'm more of a private person anyways. I just don't see the need for
You haven't
this.
updated your LinkedIn, Camryn?
No, I have not. And some people are using it for dating now. Did you see where like all those New York influencers are saying that like they're like these women are going to either Midtown or something where like it's closer to Wall Street. They're picking up these finance guys' salad orders and then they're taking their salads in the middle of the day and then looking up their names on LinkedIn to see like what their job description is and then looking up the salary of that said job position and seeing if he's attractive too.
Oh,
and I'm like that and then I'm like, but that's what LinkedIn is used for. It's like another dating platform basically, I feel like.
so are people
of young
Chad
professional-
fishing on LinkedIn?
and like Looksmaxxing, updating their profile pic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Open to work.
Yeah. Hiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't
Couldn't
know.
be me. I feel like it's like, yeah, when I was like right out of college, maybe I was like, oh, I'm updating my LinkedIn.
Yeah, when you're a young professional, I totally get it. But then I see some
We're
people
old
that
professionals
like
now.
really stay up to date on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not my primary way of communication.
Yeah, I
you know? I don't know.
I agree. Okay, propaganda that I am falling for is bringing your children to restaurants. And let me be clear by this. Long story short, on Valentine's Day, Drake and I brought Vivian to our favorite restaurant, and it's a nice restaurant, but it's a family-friendly restaurant. And we went purposefully, like early. We went at noon for our Valentine's Day lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And the couple next to us were these old boomers. They weren't that old, but they were boomers. And they were so mean that Vivian was there. And I'm like, okay, I could understand if I brought Vivian in on like a super romantic date on Valentine's Day at night, like past, like a nighttime dinner or whatever, I could understand maybe being a little irritated that a child was next to you. That being said, Vivian was like perfect at this dinner and like didn't bother a soul. And if you just like didn't even look over there, you wouldn't even notice that she was there.
Mhm.
And this boomer couple was like made me immediately feel so awkward about sitting down. So I immediately asked to move. I was like, "Oh, why don't we move over to the corner or whatever so we're not bothering them?" Because they sat
Mhm.
us right next and the tables were kind of open. Anyway, he's like, "Oh, sorry for Valentine's Day, we can't make any adjustments or whatever." And I'm like, "Okay." So we sit down and he like the guy looks at me and goes, "Thanks for trying." And then they just, like, kept looking over at us, like, disgusted, and they weren't even talking the entire dinner, and I look at these boomers, I'm like, "Do you want society to continue, or does it just end with you?" Like, honestly, does it end with you? Do you want like, children are a part of life, they're a part of society. Like I said, I think there are certain events I wouldn't bring a child into a bar, I wouldn't bring a child to, like, a super nice date spot on a night or whatever, but we're at a lunch on Valentine's Day, it's a Saturday, it's a beautiful day, and we're just trying to have a family little event. Like, why? I just like hate people that hate on that or people that get like mad at children on planes. Like, children are a part of society, and I'm just so sick of this. Like, I just think that like kids should be involved in most parts of life. Like I
Mhm.
said, there's certain circumstances where I don't think is like a kid friendly environment, but I think 95% of places should be kid friendly.
Yeah, I saw this. There's a bunch of drama right now on TikTok about this fitness influencer, Whitney Simmons. She's pregnant,
Yeah.
and she was one of, like, the main people that, like, kind of helped Gymshark, come up and,
Hmm.
like, bring all those influencers in and have all of those, like, really, cool collaborations with, like, different fitness influencers, and she had her own line for years with them, and now she's pregnant. I think she's, like, in her early 30s,
Hmm.
and there's so many feminists coming after her being like, "You wanna bring a child in this
Oh,
climate,
I
you're
saw that.
selfish," and with climate change, all of these things, and then I saw a video of this woman who's actually a feminist, but she's like, "The problem with the feminist movement is that they're not actually for empowering women to be their best selves, they're empowering women to live like them and then
Hmm.
shame them if they're not,
Yeah.
and into, like, submission and obedience," and it's like she was going on to say, like, real feminism is, like, supporting other women,
Hmm.
and, like, you're just tearing down another woman, like, if you're actually abiding by these said rules, like, saying that it's harmful to bring a child into this world because of climate change, then turn off your stove, turn off, like, your microwave for the radiation, turn off your TV, gas and electric, turn off those
Yeah.
bills, like, live by what you say, don't drive your car as much, walk to work. She's like, if you're going to, like, give all these rules to this woman who's expecting
Hmm.
a child very soon, then you better be abiding by this and, like, don't shame other people. And so, like you said, especially with airplane culture, there's so many people that get so annoyed. And it's like, okay, just because you chose to live that life and not create legacy and, like, your bloodline dies with you in your penthouse New York City apartment with your cat doesn't mean that everybody else wants to live like you. You know what I
No,
mean?
I agree, and I just, like I especially, like, looking at this older couple, I'm like, wouldn't you be happy for your country that, like, young people are having kids and enjoying their family time, and instead you have to, like I don't know, sometimes, like, I do find, like, I'm not speaking about all boomers here, but there is a very selfish tendency in that generation where during COVID, they shut us all down, they shut the schools down because they, like, prioritize themselves, and they do kind of have, like, a sneering type of,
You're so right about
yeah,
that.
they have,
Yeah.
like, a sneering disposition sometimes to young families. I see it all the time, and it's, like, it makes me angry because 'cause I'm
Mhm.
like, these are grandparents that should be excited that the next generation is having children, and more as people are not having kids, you're seeing a lot of, that generation get older and older, and they don't have grandchildren, and it's almost like then they have, like, a sneering attitude to
Mhm.
anyone who does. I don't know, it's really shocking to me, I think, and like I said, I wouldn't bring Vivian to, like, a hot date Valentine's Day at
Yeah,
night, but, like, a lunch, like, she's
it's
more than and
fine.
she's adorable, so, like, anyone who, like, gives me a bad look, I'm like, "You're just, like, a miserable person."
Australians do this thing where it's like, kids, you don't, like, revolve your life around your kids. Your kids are, like, integrated into
That's
your
very big
life
in
and your
France, too.
yeah, in your routine, and it's like you should have kids in those environments too to, like, socialize them, have them be put in those settings to, like, have them adapt essentially, and so,
Mhm.
like, it wouldn't be good to isolate them from that, so I
Yeah.
agree with you. Propaganda that I am falling for is all of it. Like, I know that's like a very general term, but I'm talking about TikTok stuff when it comes to, like, red light therapy or, like, the VibraShake plates for, like, lymphatic drainage. I'm falling for all of it. I will add that to my cart immediately and buy it. And I've seen results with every single thing. I bought one of those Vibra shake plates off of a TikTok shop where like
I
it
saw
basically
those,
moves
yeah.
you a little bit. So it like helps with lymphatic drainage. It helps with like blood circulation, metabolism. And then also like I've seen, let's roll this clip, Brianna. There's a clip of this girl where she's basically wearing a red light therapy mask. She has a Vibra shake plate, and
Yeah.
then she's standing on the Vibra shake
Yeah.
plate, and she's like
Yeah.
Dysoning her floor with the vacuum. They're like, what type of level of capitalism is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, that is
I've seen that.
me. Like, that is me core. I will keep that red light therapy mask on for like 30 minutes, be on the Vibra shake plate, and then also be like vacuuming my floor with the same vacuum that like some mom off of TikTok told me to get because it's like apparently the best vacuum.
Your
like,
influence easily.
I am falling for all of it.
I'm influenced so easily as well.
Yeah. I'm like, I know it's like a part of the over consumerism culture we like strongly advocate against, but I'm sorry, like anything health and wellness I'm falling for, like bone broth,
Yeah.
like packets, or like any of the supplements that I see the girls taking on TikTok, or if it's good for like collagen production and like hair and nail growth, or like the beef liver from like Carnivore Aurelius. I'm like, I'm falling for it all. Like anything.
I love that.
I don't know.
I love that. That's Looksmaxxing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm mogging.
I love being at home because my mom has like a gadget for anything health and wellness. Like I'm like, my face is dry, and she gets out like 50 million like steamers and like red light therapy.
I have the steamer too.
Yeah. I sent you the photo of me doing red light therapy
Yep.
with my mom stuff. My mom's like spent like a fortune just on all of this like
I do
health and
too.
wellness. She has a sauna. Like I love my mom for
the best
that.
investment is in yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, my mom always says, pay now or pay later.
Especially for young, beautiful ladies like yourself who we know watch this podcast, you know, Looksmaxxing and looking your best self, that's going to get you very, very far if you take pride in your appearance. So
Don't be a foid spiking people's cortisol and gesture gooning in the club.
we're ending on that note. We love you,
All right.
girls.
We love you sincerely, sisters. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.